Welcome back guys, Arla here with another gameplay. This is a match we were playtesting between Yasin and Izumi. Yasin is a best player that tinkers with every card he gets. Every set he comes up with some changes to his list and is pretty much every day changing a card or two cards of the deck just to ruin it. And he's trying out the Bell Ringers and the Goblins with Goblin Princess in this deck. He's also checking out the Howling Demon, and it's a bit of a Aggro Abyss with some Sanguine cards to just storm out. And versus him is Izumi playing Amulet Haven. This Amulet Haven list is the one that I brought to the testing match. I thought that it was a good opportunity to test out Candelabras versus an aggro matchup to see if they were good enough, if you were able to stabilize with Candelabras before dying out, because I think that Candelabra might be a bit of a trap card. You will see that in this match is pretty good and makes it so Izumi can stabilize pretty fast and can heal and don't feel so many things. But I'm not quite convinced if a pretty much control Haven, just a regular list, might be better, depends on the matchups. This one I brought up because I think that versus Chimera, healing enough is really a good thing to do and just makes it so Chimera doesn't have any outs if you heal very much and they can't pressure you. But that should be tested more. We tested a bit, but I am not sure about the results. Here Yasin just started with a Wraith Opener with Harbinger of Night turn 2. Even if it doesn't kill anything, it's just a body that he develops so he can pressure Izumi's life. A Goblin comes out, that was one of the targets of the Goblin Princess, but just 1 mana 2/2 is pretty good for an aggro deck. Here the Umamusume card comes down. This one is a 3/3 that gets +1/+1 when raised, and when raised 2 he searches for a 1 cost Haven Amulet on the deck and just plays it out for free. So this is our second tutor for Candelabras. We're playing the Glove, the new card 2, but we're not playing the follower of BP1 that searches. I think that the Glove is pretty good to search anything on the deck really, and cycles itself plus healing, and is pretty cheap to develop and doesn't need an Evo, so it's less slots that it really is occupying. But the Candelabras by themselves plus Gloves plus the Racing Horses are pretty good on finding enough 1 costs. Actually you play Sacred Plea and the Amulet that gives Ward 2, so there are plenty of things to search. It isn't. And here we can see the first Goblin Princess played, probably just looking for another Goblin, as we can see on his deck. Maybe a Bell Ringer might come down, but I'm thinking that maybe the plan is just to aggro out Izumi and not necessarily try to block the damage incoming. Another Goblin comes out and he has enough energy to really Evo if he wants. The Evo doesn't really buff the board right now, but makes a Goblin King that might buff it later. Here it is, the Evo, and here it comes the Goblin King to the EX area. This card is pretty good. I played it in the Open 8 format for the release or the pre-release of the set, and I felt very good about it. Right now I'm testing in Dragon 2 to search Bell Ringers. I'm testing it in Abyss 2 as an aggro shell, and it's played in Haven 2 for the egg version, so it's a pretty good neutral card to get right now. Yasin opts to trade with the Wraith. I'm not sure if I would do the same, because I would be preoccupied with pressuring Izumi's life. If the horse hits me, it's okay. If the horse hits my board, it's okay too. But well, maybe if he's fearing any kind of mass removal, is pretty good. And well, Yasin was right. Yen comes out, deals 2 damage to the board, so the horse would be just hitting for 4 and not being contested really. So it was a nice trade after all. Jen can Evo 2 to deal another 2 damage to the board, so it's something that you have to deal with. Here comes the Righteous Devil and the Evo to go with Assail and Bane to kill the Jen. Here Yasin was wondering if Jen had 3 or 4 damage back to the Devil, and at first he thought that it was dead, but we quickly corrected him so he could keep the Devil, and well, the tested was fair. We can see Sumi's hand from here. He has a lot of removal, and a Bellringer comes down to defend the Devil. I think that in these matchups, one of the hardest things to do as the control player is just deciding what to play each turn and how to sequence all your removal, which removal you might need later in the game, which one deals with which threat the best. Here we can see that he has a Thesis Degree and Either Wing, so a lot of options open, and now I wouldn't waste a Thesis Degree. He's wondering about how to remove the board, and well, another Jin would be ideal, but I don't think he has it. He would have played it already. Let me know, guys, if you like this kind of games, the more drawn out and long games, or if you would like to see shorter games. I've been trying Elephant Forest, but I think that it is very fast, so the games are very short and not a lot to see. I like the kind of games that are drawn out and grindy, so you can see how each deck may respond on the long term, and not so much one trick pony. Here Izumi banishes the threat and heals for 2. This kind of incidental healing is very good, I think. Just Haven has it in a lot of cards and it adds up slowly. Here you can see another Wraith and the Bellringer in play with the Goblin King. So Yasin is able to get another board quite easily. He has a lot of value, but not many cards in hand. He might need a finisher soon, so he can pressure Izumi well enough. Izumi here in his 6th turn, just checking out his plays, but seems like he has already one thought about. He just brought his mana down to 1, but he may change his mind after seeing the amulet. This one is a favorite of mine. 5 mana, destroy anything, and then you can activate it to draw a card. So it can be recurred with the priestess, the Star Priestess. You can actually do a lot of value things with it because it doesn't occupy a space on the board, so you can heal off the Candelabra. For me, it is one of the best cards in the deck in this kind of synergistic way, not just in a vacuum. By the way, you can check the deck list in the description. I know that some of you wondered how the deck was tuned and what the exact number of each card will play. So there it is in the description, you can check it. You can even brew a deck that is based off this one, and maybe let me know what changes you would do, what changes you think the deck needs. I know that some of the players like to play more than 40 decks. Maybe you can tell me what you would cut, maybe what changes are better or what you have been testing, so we can help each other in this process. I know that some lists, like the Amulet Haven one, has a lot of one-offs to play out of Globes and out of the Either Wing, so maybe there is a toolbox that you are playing that I'm not. Actually, the Either Wing is a card that I would like to play more with, because I like this kind of toolboxy cards that let me play some silver bullets on the deck that are designed to deal with anything in particular. This Star Priestess is just the staple of the archetype. I have very good feelings about her. When she enters the battlefield, she taps 2 amulets to deal 3 damage and heal 3 HP to you, and evos for a banished amulet to then bring back another one from the cemetery. So this kind of plays, she just comes out, deals with something, heals you for 3, then evos so she can attack any other thing and brings back another amulet, either for cards or for more removal. So for me, it's one of the good cards that made me want to play this archetype, this set. I know that Aegis is a good card, I know that Aetherwind is a good card, but you can kinda play a removal heavy control Aegis list and not necessarily play amulets, but Star Priestess makes it so I wanted to try this. Just the Candelabra goes down easily on the first turns, heals you for a bunch, and then is a very cheap amulet to let go and bring back anything bigger. At this point, Izumi can choose either a Secret Plea to draw more cards after, or the Tribunal Back of Good and Evil to remove the Dark Alice and just draw another card by sacrificing it. Yasin here didn't exactly know if the Tribunal was banished or destroyed, so we told him that it was destroyed. He activated the Alice ability to be able to keep another threat on the board, and here it is, just one card in hand, turn 8, and a big board just in front of him. Dark Alice didn't go, so it is a very good thing to keep. Alice is a very sticky threat that is a staple of Aggro Abyss and Control Abyss too. It's just a very good card if you play enough cards in your deck. I tend to only play 40, so 2 revives or 2 activations are the most I usually do, but I know that Yasin has played some 50 card decks to make sure he can abuse Dark Alice the most. Here the Alice makes him discard, and Izumi discards one of the cards that I was trying to test too, the 3-drop that makes you draw 2, discard 1 if you tap 2 amulets. Just another payoff to having more amulets in play. I was just wondering that if I'm trying to keep a lot of amulets in play for the Star Priestess and so the Candelabra triggers every turn, maybe I can just play this card too and get the benefit out of her. I didn't like her so much. The cycling is good, you can make it so Star Priestess can bring back big amulets from the cemetery, but it isn't really that necessary and you can play better 3-drops. Izumi here looks at a big board and he has a thesis degree, so I think that he can just blow up the board, but he seems to have another plan, just checking the Evo again. Maybe another Star Priestess might be good. He doesn't even check the card he drew because I think he has a very clear plan, but the card drawn is a Hero of Illusions. This card I never actually activated it for 10, but I felt like it was a very nice card to throw out with Glow. Just a one-off that maybe in some matchups you can play it on turn 10 and banish maybe a Dark Alice or an opposing Aegis for the mirror. So it is really a one-off. He just drew it and right now it might be just a free 0-cost amulet that heals him for a bit. The Tribunal can be sacrificed to draw another card, and remember guys, if you are gonna draw a cards anyway on a turn, it's probably for the best that you do it the earlier you can, so you can sequence the plays the best way possible. If you draw later, you might see that there was another route to victory that you didn't see because you weren't counting on it from the beginning. Here for example he drew a banishment, so that removal might be key to deal with the Dark Alice, and it was something that he didn't have available sooner. I know that Izumi doesn't like that many control matchups, he likes to be proactive, and he here is squeezing his brain so he can figure out what line of play is best. I will say that probably healing the most and just removing the Dark Alice, because sooner or later you will have to deal with her and make him exile his deck, so just do it the sooner you can. With 8 play points available, maybe the banishment is the best route, maybe the Star Priestess is good too to kill her 2 times and make it so he can activate it. Izumi decided to banish her, heal for 2, and then play the Dark Pact I think, so he can heal for another 3, sacrificing the Head of Illusions. He's wondering about it and there it is, so he goes back to 20 this turn. A lot of HP, I just saw that this is a deck that bounces back and forward between his life at low and high points every turn basically, and for me that's a very good sign that he can resist versus board matchups like Haven. Right now aggro isn't necessarily based off minions or based off repeated damage with small minions. Maybe hero sword is like that, but the matchups I fear the most are based off burn. So for me this kind of healing with Candelabra is key, just scrolling back every turn a little bit, accidentally really. Another Darkalis comes back and he plays a playful Necromancer. The Necromancer is pretty hard to deal with when she's a top deck because she represents 3 damage just from the ghost, but as it is just a 3/3. Yassin couldn't keep her in hand because if Darkalis dies he has to discard her. Darkalis needs to exile 3 cards or banish 3 cards from your library to be able to come back, but the discard a card part is just part of the effect, so you don't need to have any cards in hand for her to come back. So just playing out the Necromancer as a 3/3 is better than just not having her entirely because Darkalis discards her. Aegis comes down with the combo to make him a 10/10 with ward that doesn't take damage until the next turn, and he has Aura. So Yassin is pretty much screwed this turn. This is like a time walk for Izumi because Yassin can't really do much. I don't know what I would do. Well, maybe I would just pass the turn back because I'm not death on board. Izumi has 12 damage, so maybe next turn I can deal with the Aegis by attacking with some of the cards, maybe being able to able the Necromancer. Yassin is definitely thinking about it. I would too, because just looking for the way you can win is pretty much the most important thing. I know he plays some wards, so it may be important. So Darkalis attacks, makes Izumi discard, and comes back discarding a Dark General. That actually is a very good card in this matchup. But as it is, Darkalis comes back, 10 banish cards and attacks again. So Izumi discards another card and doesn't come back this time. I think that I would have done this the next turn, so I could be able to deal with the cards in hand, but also deal damage to the Aegis. Aegis becomes a 12/12 with this activation, threatening the entire life of Yassin really. At this point I don't think that Yassin has many things to do, maybe some Bane in the deck, but I don't know if he plays the Masquerade Ghost package. I think that he doesn't. Jin goes down, so this is a sealed deal, just dealing 4 to the entire board, and at 16 life I don't think that Yassin can come back. So well guys, I hope you liked it. I don't think that he can do much here. I was wondering if you would like to see any other type of content. I'm all ears, just reading your comments. Let me know what you would like to see, maybe some card pack openings, maybe some deck techs. Just leave a comment and say, Arla, I need to see this deck in action. I need to see a deck tech of that version of the deck. Maybe I'm able to update any of the decks that I've been playing, because well, the matches in the channel are just a small portion of all the Shadowverse we play in our local shop. So well, just let me know what you want to see, maybe some short matches, maybe some best of 3 matches that we play, so you can see how the meta develops in our shop. I'm open to any of it really. I kinda like uploading these kind of games more long-winded, so you can see the decks in action, you can see the more close battles. But I know that some people might like some Bleach games, some 5-minute games, just to see the nut draw of any of the decks like Elephant Forest and things like that. So Well, thank you for coming, thank you for seeing the video, like, comment, subscribe, maybe share with a friend, and see you on the next, guys. Bye!